Hello, welcome back to the breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. Want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news reports coming out from Ukraine, and we're going to talk about Ukraine's foreign ministry. And this is their spokesperson here in the photo. His name is Erori Taikuyev. So I'm trying my best to pronounce his name in Ukrainian. And he put out a major statement today in regards to the ongoing peace talks between the U.S. and Ukraine right now. And we know the peace deal has been announced today. And just earlier this week, it was apparently unveiled at the talks in London. And we have a comment here from Ukraine's foreign ministry, and they're coming out with some major red lines in regards to this peace deal and this document that talks a lot about how it's going to benefit Russia more than Ukraine. So I want to show you guys this report here on your screen. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs released three principled positions on ending the war. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed three non-negotiable positions during peace talks in London, emphasizing that Kyiv will never recognize any part of its territory as Russian. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this information here. What are these three principled positions here that Ukraine is not willing to negotiate on? And also, I have some reports coming out from Volodymyr Zelensky today that I want to show you guys as well. He's made a few statements that I think you guys should be aware of. Let's go ahead and jump on over real quick to RBC Ukraine. Just a quick report. We're not going to cover the whole thing. We'll cover part of it. I'll cite it down below in the description for you guys if you guys want to read the rest. So it says here, Ukraine's foreign ministry makes statement on peace plans manipulations. This coming out today, April 25th, 2025. Here's a picture of the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Erori Taikuyev. And it says right here, Ukraine insists on three principled positions on ending the war, which have long been known. And most of the media reports about peace plans are not true, according to Ukraine's Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Erori Taikuyev. Regarding these various peace plans, documents, and so on, I can confirm to you that at the talks in London, the Ukrainian side, as well as previous talks, reaffirmed its principal positions within the framework of a broader long-term peace settlement, he said. So here's the three principal positions. According to Foreign Ministry spokesperson, it is not about a ceasefire now, not about silence, and about a broader long-term settlement. You are well aware of these three principal positions, which were repeated by Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha and other government officials. First, Ukraine will never recognize any part of its territory as Russian. Second, Ukraine will never agree to any limitation of its armed forces and the Ukrainian Defense Forces, defense capabilities, and defense industry or military assistance from its partners. And the third is that no third country has the right to veto Ukraine's choice of alliances and unions he listed. According to Taikuyev, these are the three principal positions that Ukraine adheres to and has been voiced in other negotiations. It is not a particular surprise. As for various reports in the media, some plans, today I have already read some new ones. Someone else has made them public. We urge everyone to focus on official information coming out from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, from the President of Ukraine, from the President's office. These are enough messages that outline Ukraine's position, the spokesperson noted. So yes, some of these we are aware of already, but let's just briefly go over these again real quick and I'll kind of analyze them for you. So Ukraine will never recognize any part of its territory as Russian. So he's talking about Crimea, which is a heavy part of this whole settlement here. Is the U.S. really wants to push Ukraine to recognize Crimea as Russian territory. And then in regards to the other four territories inside of Ukraine that Russia's currently partly controlling, they want some type of de facto recognition, okay? So not complete recognition as Russian territory, but stating that Russia does control those territories to an extent. And then also, secondly, Ukraine will never agree to limitation of their armed forces. This is something that I reported to you guys just in the last couple of days as well, that Ukraine is not going to ever allow that to happen. And at the same time, apparently, Steve Witkoff, as he met with Vladimir Putin today, was allegedly supposed to be trying to push for that to get Russia to agree to allow Ukraine to extend their military as far as they want to. They can build it up as much as they want. They can also continue to get military assistance from their partners. So we're still waiting to hear if the Kremlin's going to be okay with that. And then thirdly, no country has the right to veto Ukraine's choice of alliances or unions. So they're talking about mainly NATO and the EU. So if they want to get into any alliances like NATO, they want the right to be able to get in. Okay, no country should have the right to veto that or stop them, as we've been hearing that a major part of this peace plan as well from the U.S. is stating that Ukraine will never join NATO. So these are their very clear red lines, and they will not be negotiable in any way. Okay, so now we're going to hop on over to X, and I'm going to show you guys a few things over here as well. So let's jump on over here to the Telegraph. Vladimir Putin welcomed Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff with open arms at the Kremlin on Friday afternoon. It came in as Mr. Trump told Time magazine that Crimea will stay with Russia. Okay, so this was announced just prior to the Russian President Vladimir Putin here meeting with Steve Witkoff, the special envoy of the Middle East. So they met for talks in Moscow today. And just prior to that, we had Trump issuing a statement on Time magazine that Crimea will stay with Russia. Okay, so how are they going to resolve that? This makes me think that this is not going to work out at all. We're going to see the war continue. Crimea is never going to be recognized as Russian territory by Ukraine. So if that's a major part of this proposal, how is that going to be resolved? I mean, the only way that this can really move forward is if Ukraine just basically gives in, right? But we know Ukraine will not do that. So we're going to have to see what happens here, guys, but I have a big feeling it's going to completely fall apart. Or could we see a last-minute U-turn from either side, either from Russia or maybe from Ukraine? So let's go ahead and jump onto another update now from War Translated. President Zelensky agrees that with Trump that Ukraine lacks the weapons for a military retake of Crimea, but other levers of influence exist. He stresses Ukraine is open to any talks in any format, but only after a genuine unconditional ceasefire. So in this video, we're going to be seeing Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky holding a little press conference here at one of the sites inside of the Kiev region that was struck yesterday by Russian ballistic missiles, and we had a lot of people being killed yesterday. I think upwards of 10 people losing their lives, somewhere around that number. And I want you guys to see this statement. It does have subtitles. He's going to talk about some of these things that War Translated shared with us in the description for this post. Take a look.
Наші люди, так, це головніше, найголовніше. Але казати, що у нас немає армії, це неправда, я так вважаю. І тому у нас сьогодні, я погоджуюсь з президентом Трампом, що у України немає достатньо зброї, щоб зброєю повернути контроль над півостровом Крим. Але у нас є можливості санкційні, у світу є можливості іншого економічного тиску, дипломатичного тиску, щоб говорити це, обговорювати територіальні питання, але тільки після повного безумовного припинення вогню. Саме таке наше бачення. І на пропозиції Сполучених Штатів, ще раз вдячні за пропозиції від всіх наших партнерів, Сполучених Штатів і європейців, від всіх ми відповідаємо, що повне припинення, безумовне припинення вогню відкриває можливості говорити про все. І ми готові до діалогу в будь-якому, ще раз підкреслюю, форматі, з будь-ким, в цьому форматі, будь-коли. Але тільки після реального сигналу, що Росія готова щодо закінчення війни. Такий сигнал – це повне, безумовне припинення вогню.
Okay, so Zelensky talking about several important things here, discussing Crimea and saying that he does agree with Donald Trump that Ukraine does not have the weapons to retake Crimea militarily, but at the same time, there are major tools that could still be used that many Western nations, including the U.S., are not utilizing, like sanctions pressure, economic pressure onto Russia to make them potentially leave Crimea or whatever it might be. So Zelensky still believes there's a way to retake Crimea even without military force, right? And then he also talks a little bit about wanting an unconditional ceasefire with Russia, but they're waiting for a very good signal from Russia to make sure that they're serious about it and not just going to state this, but continue on this war, as we've seen that happening multiple times. Okay, so one last thing I want to share with you guys now from Max24. Zelensky, most countries in the world support us, even those countries that constantly balance between us and Russia. Even they recognize the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine, including Crimea. We must be pragmatic and understand that there are security guarantees that Ukraine needs. Ukraine's accession to NATO depends on its allies, but Ukraine really wants security guarantees to be very strong, at least as strong as those between the US and Israel. Ukraine also counts on support from European partners, including the possible deployment of contingents and infrastructure development. even where there are European troops, we are talking about the U.S. backstop. For us, a backstop does not necessarily mean boots on the ground in Ukraine. We are talking about intelligence work. We are talking about cyber defense, about Patriot air defense systems, and this is very important for us. Okay, so Zelensky talking about security guarantees once again. That's still a major part of any type of peace negotiation. We know Ukraine has to have heavy security guarantees, and preferably from the US. So if you notice here, he's talking about how the security guarantees need to be very strong, at least as strong as those between the US and Israel. So we know, even though Israel is not a NATO ally, look at the security guarantees they have from the US. I mean, the US probably gives them more weapons than any other country in the world. At least arguably in some ways, right? We know that billions of dollars given to Israel all the time. They've got some of the most advanced weaponry just from the US alone. So Ukraine wants those same types of security guarantees similar to Israel, even though Israel is not a NATO member, similar to Ukraine. Okay, if Ukraine is not going to get into NATO, they want those type of security guarantees as well. But what we have been seeing from the US is they're not really willing to give out those type of security guarantees similar to Israel. That Ukraine is clearly not as important as Israel is. So, you guys let me know what you think on that. Just wanted to kind of touch basis on security guarantees that, again, Zelensky is calling for them and stating that security guarantees are very important in regards to this proposal to try to end this war as well. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about all these details. Want to get you caught up on what's coming out from Ukraine's government and their president. So share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.